Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM21, Worst to First, episode 15. New season underway, and I couldn't even count last episode. Apparently, I thought we were still in the 9th tier when actually we were in the 8th tier, just cruising through our 3rd season. That's what happens when you start picking up the pace relatively quickly. It becomes quite easy to lose track, and these lower divisions are so similar that it's hard to tell the difference. Well, anyway. That was the 8th tier. We're now in the 7th tier. First day of the season. Wolverine is out injured, and Spider-Man is playing today in his place. He is our backup striker, but he is also coming off an injury. He's available for roughly an hour today, so that's what we get. We're going to have to put somebody random into the position later. But otherwise, we should be in dominating form today. But at the moment, anyway, first 10 minutes in here, we're getting a decent challenge. So we'll see how that goes. We, of course, had a couple players that we lost last season. They are back. They are in the squad. Nature of the experiment. Our squad is our squad. They will be here. They will be playing. It is their team. And we're not going to be bringing other players in to replace them and see what happens with them in their career with somebody else. This is our team. So anyway, that's done. That said, now, if I lose somebody here during the summer, I'm not going to play without them for the entire season, as that one's banged off the post. Struggling to get anything either on target or anything on target with power. Shots with power are missing horribly wide, and anything without power is just going straight to the keeper. Well, anyway, nearly a half hour in. XG is all us. They've got just an ounce of goal creation so far is all they've managed. Here's Jean Grey over to Groot, and that one's cleared out. Playing at a very accelerated pace right now because, well, we're supposed to be flying through these next couple of divisions, and realistically, up until at least the football league. I mean, League 2, League 1, we might start seeing a better challenge, but I think for a little while now, we're just going to be crushing the opposition. So half an hour in, Nebula gets the first goal of the season. It's a nice strike, good play, and a little power, and on target. Finally, we're able to put those two things together. Here's Nebula with a free kick on the edge of the box, but it goes straight to the defense. And our recovery of possession was a bit slow, but here's Star-Lord through, and good chance inside. Should have done better. It should be 2-0. Ready to commit? That corner does not go well. So I did a few things during the offseason. One, massive Spider-Man game off target. Massive upgrade to our staff during the offseason. We had a number of expiring contracts. We allowed some of those. We kept 2/3 of the staff. It wasn't everybody that was swapped out, but the 1/3 that was swapped out were the ones that were mostly 2-star kind of range, and now we've got 3.5 to 4-star kind of range with those replacements. As a team, things are going much better on that front. 3 stars or better in every category. Also, the size has improved, so the size of the staff. So we picked up 3 more spots from what we had. So we've gone from 7 up to 10, which is allowing us to specialize more. Most of the coaches on staff are coaching only a single category, and then we've got 2 coaches in every single category, which is helping with the amount, the workload that they have, make it a little easier to spread themselves out and work with all the players. Ooh, nice turn there. Beats his man not once but twice. Sets this up. There's the overlap. Oh, Star-Lord goes back. And all the way back to the defense. Really? Pressure wasn't that bad, but we still have possession. It's fine. There's a nice through ball. Oh, Jean Grey. Jean Grey should have had her open. I can't believe we've gone an hour and only managed 1 goal. Well, anyway, the expectations for this season, very high. I think last season's 3 draws and 1 loss on the year. I think we will do better. I think this year we should have fewer than 3 draws and a loss. Will it be perfect? I don't expect it to be, but I think we'll have something less than the points that we dropped, which, what would that be? 3 draws, 6 points, plus a loss, 9 points dropped. So I think we'll drop fewer than 9 points this season. Another close call missed. There's our hour mark. Let's go ahead and get Spider-Man out of there before it's too late. We'll bring in, I don't know, Iron Man. He's not happy. Give him some playing time. Anybody else tired? I forgot that we have our billion-year transfer ban. Nice turn from Groot. There's another Jean Grey, and it's onside. And so forcibly bringing back Jean Grey. Ooh, was she onside? I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, forcibly bringing back Jean Grey and Doctor Strange. They both didn't qualify for the team. They both were ineligible because of the transfer ban. And so I had to forcibly remove that, but we're good now. So they missed part of the preseason as they were unable or unavailable for the team. Well, anyway, we're going to start cruising into the season. We're going to go forward 2 or 3 months. I think the goal right now for, I'd say probably the next 2 seasons, maybe more, but 2 seasons for now, is 1 episode per season. So really going to try to push that pace for a little bit. Let us get up through the tiers. Great assist from Jean Grey. Nice finish from Iron Man there. Let's see. Everybody's got really high ratings. Groot again. Nice. So we open the floodgates, and then total domination is on its way. There's a almost not a who to sub in kind of thing. Everybody's playing so well, I don't want to sub anybody off. I guess it's going to be more about who can I get out there. Like Black Widow? Sure. And who else do we have? We have a winger. Let's go ahead and get Jean Grey some rest. There's a last sub, and time is up. And that does it. 4-0 on the opener. You can see that tiny little bit of XG that they got was all they got. And while we were good in the first half, we just destroyed them in the second half. But see, not much difference. The XG just climbed and climbed and climbed. We just finished better in the second half than we did in the first, realistically. 26-2 on the shot attempts for the day. That's going to be a consistent theme throughout the season. Let's go ahead and push forward 2.5 months and we'll do a check-in. Despite a stellar 9-0 start to the season, we're still only 1 point ahead of the second place club, Swindon Supermarine, who have played 1 match more than us and have 2 draws, but they haven't lost yet. We haven't played them. They're only a plus 11. I mean, there's a massive gulf between us, but it's still only 1 point. So got to keep that in mind. We're heading into the 4th qualifying round, but apparently we're good enough to reach the 4th round of the FA Cup. Wow. Okay. We actually barely got through the last round with a 2-1 road victory. A game we were in control of, and it was a consolation goal in the final minutes, but still a little worrying going forward. Our division, yeah, totally dominant, but to everybody else, I don't know about that one yet. In terms of the schedule, you can see just how clinical we've been. We've given up a single goal in the league, plus the one in the FA Cup 3rd qualifying round. That's been it. So 1 goal against Hornchurch on the road, and we won the match 7-1. We've had a 3-0 victory against Rugby, so a couple teams have been a little better in their defense. Runcorn Linnets 3-0, but very, very dominant so far this season. So we're going to keep the timers moving along. We got over $1 million in an offer for Groot the board this time, resisting, so we didn't lose any players. I would imagine come January, especially Groot, those offers are going to get even bigger. We'll probably hit 1.5, and I'm assuming at some point there's going to be some sort of number, some tipping point. So we might be losing Groot come January for the remainder of this season. Then, of course, we'll follow suit with what we did last season and bring them back during the offseason because the league itself looking quite comfortable. And as for Swindon, we play them 2nd of January, and maybe that's where I make my next push. I'll push forward. That's, again, roughly 2 months, month and a half anyway. We'll see if we've distanced them. If we have, I'll keep pushing along, and we'll just get the next check-in come January, say. Otherwise, I'll see you in that match. We are on the intended day, 2nd of December, but it's not the intended match. It's the FA Cup 2nd round, and we are up against mid-table League One side Exeter City. So, big, tough ask on this one. Let's see what we can do. Very big crowd on hand. Not quite a sellout, but pretty dang close. And so far, we're dominating play. First 10 minutes, it's been all us. Have we really improved that much? I think we are due for a check-in on the progress of the players just to see how good they've gotten of late. But so far, we go very, very close on this one. Maybe that 4th round expectation is not out of our reach. This is really surprising. To make this game a little more difficult on us, we are short 2 key players due to injuries. You can see Exeter bringing a very large crowd to this one. Grabbed in the box. That's going to be a penalty. Ooh, tough way to go. I don't want to see us go ahead this way. I want to see it outright earned through open play. But Iron Man gets his 3rd goal of the season. Iron Man in for Gamora, who just went down in our last game a week ago to a broken foot. 3 to 4 months on that one. So we're going to miss her for most of the season, so Iron Man's going to get a big chance here. And then our top player, Jean Grey, goes down. Oof, very near on that one. Ant-Man. Ant-Man is in her place. Also down just last week. Although I think it was a midweek game. She's only going to be out for a few weeks, 3 to 6 weeks, so certainly not as long, not as big of an impact as Groot. That looked like it should have been a tap-in, and then I thought for sure the defender blocked the shot and pushed it wide, but it was out for a goal kick. Groot, free kick, goal. Captain America, 1st of the season, really? This far into the season, and you're just now scoring your 1st? He got behind the defense there, but he was not offside. The front of the line. Let's see how the front of the line pulled in. It's actually right in the middle, really. But the back end of the line stayed up, trying to play the outside trap, and he just went behind it, watching where the defense was. 2-0. Wow, so if we're good enough to compete with League One right now, that says a lot about how many episodes to come. We'll be full season, 1 episode kind of thing, as Groot, 21st goal of the season, and it's 3-0. Our performances in the league have been just as dominating as they were before. So we are getting anywhere from 3-0 to 10-0 now, getting double digits. It's reminding me of some of the indoor scores that I've had in the past. Groot, back there, Groot. Star-Lord on the overlap, nice turn. The mental part going with the improved skill is making such a huge difference. You know, in terms of actual quality, in terms of current ability-wise, a number of these players are now on par with my Youth Factory, my other series, the Zero to Hero series. They're in the 5th tier, we're in the 7th, so there's only a 2-tier difference, but in terms of quality, we're similar. But the reason why this group is so dominant is the mental side of it. We have such strong determination and strong mental attributes where we're making the best decisions. And the Youth Factory group doesn't have that. In fact, they have quite the opposite. They lack leadership. They're young and inexperienced, and there's no top leaders to pull them through. And anytime we start developing one, that's the player who gets plucked away by somebody else, and they buy them, which is kind of the same reason why in this series, the potential ability might be recognizable with scouting, that you could tell, oh yeah, they're going to be really good, but how good, is it a pure wonder kid type environment where they're going to recognize that? Not necessarily. I think the biggest thing is just that strong mental core on the entire team is what's making these guys so freaking good. Iron Man, great interception there. That's one of our weaker players. Ant-Man does a good thing, but gets taken down, doesn't complete the move. There is a gap between some of our players, but there is another chance created. Ant-Man gets a shot off. So we're doing good things. And this is against a League One side. Well, like I said, I think at least to League Two or League One, which was what I was saying, well, for you about 5 minutes ago. For me, that was 2 months ago in terms of the gameplay. So it's been a little bit of time covered there. But it does appear that we can speed this up right into the football league with, like I said, one season per episode for a little while. It's going to take me a lot longer than there's Ant-Man grabbing his first goal of the season against Exeter City. This is not even against the league opponents, who are significantly lower down than these guys are. That's poor from the keeper, really. Keeper should have done better. There you go, everybody now up over the 7 rating. So nice play, Wolverine getting behind the defense there. Losing out on that one, out for the throw. Let's try to get some players in who, let's go with ones that are actually in their position, right? Let's get Black Widow in. Let's get Spider-Man in. We'll get Deadpool in. Star-Lord's on a yellow, so that's a good choice. And we'll see this one out looking like a comfortable 4-0. 24-3 on the shots. Certainly better than the opponents we're used to facing, but still very dominating. This was unexpected. I thought we could struggle a bit with this one. But no. Dang, we are good. We're very good. And the continued development. So once this game's done, we're not going to just speed forward. And by the way, in the league, the match that was supposed to be today with the second place side, for one thing, they've slipped to third place. They've fallen off a bit. They've taken on a couple losses, so they are not in the position they were, meaning the league is now quite comfortable, so we don't need to worry about that matchup coming. At this point, all that matters is what we have coming in two things. One, we're going to take a look at the players, how they're doing. But before we do that, it's time. It is absolutely time, and we are going to have a chat. We're going to have a chat with the board and see if we can do something about a certain situation. Pretty much the only thing that's been denied. Or one of two things that have been denied. There it is. Expand ground. Attendance is up this year, and the FA Cup especially, which we're coming off of that right now. And actually, let me push forward one day, and then we'll ask. All right, so a day on, we've had a full sellout. I don't know about that one, but that was definitely a large crowd. The league average has gone up a lot. We're into that 70-75% of capacity, I think, on a regular basis now. Is that close enough? have we hit the point where we can get an expansion of our ground? Because that's absolutely the next thing. Finances, we don't really need to worry about it, but finances are hurting this season. We're losing a couple $100,000 each month because our wages have gone up a lot to try to keep these superstars happy. Still too soon. We've got to be getting close, but not quite yet. Maybe next season, maybe at the end of this season, as soon as the season ends, the off season, we try again. It's a no for now. Trading facilities, another option in the near future. Youth things continue to always be an option, but fairly irrelevant options. As for the team and the reputation, how are we looking now? 906, so coming up on 1,000. You can see that club attendance is still not quite there compared to the 250. Our league performance is boosting that 133, like I said, to about 170, maybe 160 on a regular basis. It's out of 250, so it's definitely not full. If we get that up over 200, 80% or better on an average, I think that's definitely full enough to convince the board, because they're missing out on money more than just twice a season. FA Cup is right now the only thing that's actually pushing a full ground. Next round, another opportunity, but FA Cup's another story. It's a once in a blue moon kind of thing. The league is where it matters more, and we're not quite there, but we've got to be getting close. Before I get too much further on into the league, I need to make sure I take a look and see how the players are doing. I'm not breaking down each attribute, but we'll get the overview. You can see Black Panther and Black Widow here are defensive mids. You can see the clear gulf between the two of them, but you can see how they're also shaping up in a very similar way. Strong in mental and vision and speed. You can see the difference in our two starting center backs. Very similar in most ways. Captain America a little ahead on the defending side, while Cyclops is a little better on vision. Cyclops has played out of position a few times. And then we can see that actually Thor is developing very, very nicely right now. Thor, great vision and strong mental. So might need to make sure that Thor is getting into the squad a bit more. You can see how Star-Lord is just slightly ahead of Deadpool as the two fullback options at right back. Deadpool, the backup, again. These two have kind of switched in and out of who is the starter. You can definitely see in how relatively close they are to one another. Doctor Strange, meanwhile, does not have a massive advantage, is only slightly better. So the three of them are fairly similar, and I need to get them rotating a little more often, I think. Our two center mids, Gamora, Nebula, the sisters, very, very close, very similar. Slight advantage for Gamora in mental, but Nebula a little ahead on development. But it's also quite clear that Iron Man has lagged behind both of them. Gamora out for a few months. This should help Iron Man do a bit of catching up. See the similarities in our two wingers that are getting the starts. Aerially, Jean Grey way ahead and slightly ahead in a number of areas. And like I said, I think on paper, Jean Grey might be our best player. She's out for a short little while. Groot does have the advantage in the mentals by a little bit anyway. On this one, the deficit to Ant-Man, though, is very evident. Huge gap in every single category. The Vision is the only one that's even close, the only one within two. So Ant-Man's got a long ways to go on catching up. Jean Grey, of course, missed a good chunk of last season being gone, sold to another team, and Ant-Man still hasn't caught up. Again, Jean Grey out with an injury right now. Another opportunity for Ant-Man to gain a little bit of ground. Our striker comparison, it's clear why Wolverine is getting the go. The vision and the attacking are quite high. Speed is also really good. The physicals really helping establish some space. Technically, aerially still lacking, but really, really strong quality from Wolverine. Surprising how much they've developed. could be emerging as one of our top players. Spider-Man, meanwhile, starting to take that shape of a striker, still lacking the defending, but the other attributes are coming up. Has some work to do. Definitely has some. And finally, the comparison of goalkeepers. The eccentricity was random. Storm ended up very, very high on that end, where Hulk ended up on a very, very low. So they are opposite each other in terms of style. But then after that, their development should be identical. But we can see how much Hulk has lagged behind in big ways. Just not developing well at all. We do have some better goalkeeping coaching, and since they went full-time, both of them went from not really progressing to they're both definitely progressing now. Still behind every other position, though. I mean, everybody is ahead of our goalkeepers. I think they are right at the bottom of the list. All but Storm might be better than a couple of the subs, but that's about it. Also, a factor in all of this has got to be the fact that even when they do play, Storm, all 23 matches so far this season, only allowed 8 goals. But 17 shutouts is great, but not really facing the opposition. Our defense, our midfield is so good at recovering the ball. So good at recovering the ball that our goalkeepers are almost never challenged. And I think that might be part of the reason why neither one of them is developing. I mean, you can see Hulk. I think if we go back through everybody, their value is over 1,000. Everybody is. Even Storm's only at 2,000. And I don't think that's the case for any of our players. I'm surprised that Hulk hasn't been more adamant about going somewhere else to get an opportunity like many of the other subs have. I know I'm just about out of time for this episode, and it's only the middle of December. So maybe we'll push to first part of February, see what happens with the January transfer window, and if we lose any players for the remainder of the season, check in on that FA Cup. I think the league is a foregone conclusion, but then we'll push from there to the end of the season. Never mind the youth intake. It really doesn't matter right now, though our level is rising and those players should be better. And I forgot to even sign the players last season, so there's not much of a youth team right now. Let's push forward. 2nd of February, transfer deadline behind us. Nobody gone. The offers were huge. In fact, the time that I skipped forward, you only get 150 messages. I was already on January 31st, and I just got 150 plus transfer offers. That was the entire message stream. Now, as for the league, we'll check in on that in a second. 48 goals for Wolverine. Groot has 32 in 32 plus 23 assists. Jean Grey, 27 in 28 played with 23 assists. All of them with over 8.0 ratings. Yeah, we are deadly in attack. XG nearly 20 for Jean Grey, 27 for Wolverine, 23 for Groot. So Groot really stepping it up this season, where it was mostly just Jean Grey and Wolverine in the past. So Groot did a lot of catching up last season while Jean Grey was gone. But here we are. Things are looking good. I think we can probably get right on to the end of the season. Gamora will be back soon. Jean Grey's been back for a while. Storm is now out injured for a month. So Hulk getting some time in goal. And as for the league, perfect. 25-0 with a plus 111. 75 from 75. We are already up by 19 points. Let's see, 42 game season, so 17 to go. Let's get through them and see if we can have a perfect season. Right now it's looking like we might be able to pull that off. By the way, meanwhile, third round, 2-1. Oh, no, where are we? The recent rounds. There we go. Third round, 5-0 against Burton Albion. Reading, 3-2. We are into the 5th round of the FA Cup against either QPR or Newcastle. Wow. I don't think we'll get past the 5th round. The expectation was 4th, and we've somehow done that. By the way, our win streak is insane. Gosport scored 2 goals on us. That's the only time all season that has happened. We have not been very leaky at all in our defense. Let's get back to the action. I'll see you at the end of the season. Final match of the season, and we have a chance for perfection. Now, over the last couple of months, I intentionally took, or at least I suppose the last handful of games as we go up 1-0 in just the second minute here, Spider-Man with the goal. Over the last handful of games, I've taken our reserve players, our lesser players, and selected them as starters to try to get them some game time. But for the longest time, I have not had stick with the roster as selected. And so my assistant manager gets that opportunity to kind of select players. Well, they keep selecting the same 11. So I figured by setting starters that they'd get a mixed bag, and I figured maybe 2 or 3 of them would get a start per game. Not really. They were kind of getting maybe 1 of them per game in on a start, and the other handful were still going to reserves. Ooh. Oh, rough call. It looked like we got a ball on that one. Yeah, I'm not a fan. 2-0, still inside 10 minutes. Spider-Man 8th goal of the season. All right, now here's the scenario as we go to seemingly cruise towards a perfect season. 42 wins from 42 matches. We did not lose until the 5th round of the FA Cup, and that was on the road at Newcastle United. I don't know what the final score was. I haven't had a chance to look back and see what it was, but that is where we got knocked out of the competition. And so now it's 3-0 just after 20 minutes. Gamora with her 7th of the season, back from her long injury. She has been playing in Nebula's place, and I've been trying to get Iron Man into the squad, but that hasn't worked out terribly well. Like I said, with the assistant coach, we had just 7 shot attempts and 3 goals already. Yikes. Very clinical. Now, the bad news, but really not important because, again, parameters, experiment, it is what it is. We can rule the day and make sure that nothing happens. But a lot of players signed brand new, well, the whole team signed new contracts after our first season. And the reason why all of them signed new contracts after our first season is because we were a part-time club. We went full-time after just that first season. That was 3 years ago now. Virtually everybody signed a 3-year deal. Now, over the last 2 seasons, a little over half of the club had signed new deals before entering this year. And there's a goal. Michael Gray, his 23rd of the season. So, poor defense. Little mistake there. Little luck, as well as the ball kind of deflected around, but Hulk really, really late reacting to that one. Hulk should have already been pouncing on that ball and smothering 90% of the possible goal mouth from the attacker, and relying on the defense if they tried to dribble around to help with that, or just scrambling from there. But in my very, very limited goalkeeping experience, that's what I did best. Just get big. Because I know I wouldn't have the reactions. 4-1 now still before halftime. Iron Man not happy, Deadpool not happy, but whatever. We're fine. We're dominating play. These guys are so good, and their mentals are so good that the controversy stuff goes away pretty quick. A lot of players, they want to play at bigger clubs. Like I said, half had expiring contracts this year. Now, half of those have been able to get re-signed. Half of those just straight up refused again and again. Unlucky keeper. Tried so hard to keep that one out. Could not. 43rd goal of the year for Jane Gray. Halftime, 5-1. Very much in cruise mode. We do play better when I manage the club. We do tend to get a few more goals, but consistently all season long we're getting lots. And like I said, I think we've only given up 2 goals once all season outside of FA Cup. Well, anyway, I was not able to get everyone to re-sign. there was a number of players who just straight up refused, and then as they got towards near expiration of their contracts, they went ahead and signed with somebody. Now, because of the timing, the only ones who were available to do that pretty much was MLS, and a lot of my players are American-based, and so the MLS was very keen. Nice shot, nice save. Very keen to sign our players. So right now, 4 players have signed contracts, pre-contracts, for when their current contracts expire. A 5th player, Black Widow, is still refusing to sign, but has not signed with anyone else currently, but presumably would, as we can't get her to re-sign. So that makes 5 players. And then on top of that, there is now a 6th matter that we have to deal with, and that is the loss of Wolverine. Early April, about a week into April, for $5.25 million, LAFC signed Wolverine, and that was an on-the-spot. Again, as they have a different transfer window. Luck, as Gamora was pretty much on the line, but just level with the goalkeeper and one defender that was marking her on the post. And that was just enough to squeeze that one in and be onside. 6-1 final. Season done. Absolute perfection. We have done it. That was 42 wins from 42 games. I don't think we had anything closer than 2 goals this season. Our plus-minus was insanely high. Well over 100 goals to the good. 168. Whew. Wow. Yeah. Major difference. Swindon ended up second. 88 points. That's a good season. I mean, that's well over 2 goals per game, but we absolutely crushed the league, which is why it ultimately came down to just that single episode for the entirety of the season. Now, I know that I'm now over half an hour, so it is very much time to wrap this up. Wolverine will be brought back. Those 5 players going away at the end of June will immediately be brought back because of the experiment. They are part of this team. We are not suddenly going to have 4 or 5 players left and then fall apart. I want to see what these guys can do together on the world stage. Ooh, achievement. Invincible. Nice. So 5.3 ended up being the finals on that deal. Since moving, 7 appearances, already 3 goals and an assist. And I'm noticing that this year we've hit a point where the players are now good enough to dominate MLS, to easily step in and play League One comfortably as best players in the league, or play championship level. That's where we're at right now. We're probably good enough to survive in the championship, maybe mid-table. We're going to be in Tier 6 next season and continue developing. So I think even more so by the end of next season, we should easily be able to compete with championship clubs, which means we're still probably maybe 2-3 seasons of very, very sped up, as in 2-3 seasons in the next 2 or 3 episodes. That's going to do it for this one, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.